So to start today, we have several definitions that we need to talk about. As you know, every angle has two sides. We're going to be putting angles now on the coordinate plane. The first side of the angle always sits right here on the positive x-axis. So this is my first side, and we call this line the initial side. The second line starts at the initial and starts going around counterclockwise wherever it happens to land. So if we start here and we go counterclockwise and we happen to stop rotating right here, this other line is where we ended. So this distance from here to here is our angle. This part of the angle is called the terminal side. So I have an XY axis with an angle on it. The initial side is always where we start. We start right here. And then our angle rotates until it lands where the position of the terminal side is going to tell it to stop. Now there are 4-degree markers on here that you need to be aware of. You know that this is a 90-degree corner, which meant if I started here, I start here at 0 degrees. If I transfer all the way over here, this is a 90-degree change. If I go another 90 degrees, this is now 180 degrees. If I go another 90 degrees, I'm now at a 270-degree rotation. And if I finish, I end up back here at what is the 0 degree. It's also the 360-degree angle. So if you recall, a full circle, a full turnaround is 360 degrees. If you're doing like a skateboard trick and you now are facing backwards, it's a 180-degree turn. So we go counterclockwise and every corner is worth 90 degrees. Remember, each one of these squares, these areas are called quadrants. This is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. This is quadrant 3. And this is quadrant 4. Something else to keep in mind, it's easy to split a 90 degree in half. If you split a 90-degree rotation in half, the distance from one line to the next is 45 degrees. And then the distance from that line back to the next one is also 45 degrees. So you can split a 90 degree in half very easily. You can also split a 90 degree very easily into thirds. If you split a 90 degree into thirds, each of these ends up being 30 degrees. These are going to help us find our angle measures. So they want me to draw a 240-degree angle in standard position. What that means is that the origin is at the vertex and our initial side is definitely going to be right here on the x-axis. Now I got to figure out where my terminal ends. So I know that if I go from my current initial to here, that I have so far a full 90 degrees. If I go another quarter rotation, I've gone another full 90 degrees. So if I went 90 and I went another 90, so far I could take my terminal and rotate it all the way around, and I've only gone 180 degrees. So a question to ask myself: how much more do I still need to go? I had to go 240. So far, I've traveled a total of 180 degrees. How much more do I still need to go? 240 minus 180 is 60. So I still need to go 60 degrees. 60 degrees is going to be easy to get if I split the next quarter, the next quadrant, into threes, because each of these is 30 degrees. So if I went an initial 30, and then I went another 30, I've got a total of 240. So double check it. 90 plus 90 plus 30 plus 30 is actually 240 degrees. So where does my terminal side end? My terminal side ends right here. So I started at 0, I went 90, 90 more, and a total of 60 more angles, and I landed right here to travel a total of 240 degrees. This angle right here is my angle. So now I'm being asked to draw a 500-degree angle in standard position, which meant the vertex of my angle is going to be right here at the origin. My initial line, my initial side is going to be right here. And now I have to travel 500 degrees. Well, I know a full rotation is going to be 360. So if I've already traveled 360 degrees, question to myself, how much more do I still need to travel? I had to go 500 total. I've already done a full circle of 360 degrees. 500 minus 360 is 140 degrees. I need to still go 140 degrees. Well, if I went just 90 more, how much more now? I'm going to go another 90. 140 minus 90 tells me I need to go 50. This quarter rotation is going to be 90 total, which means I need to live somewhere in here. I know 50 is really close to the 1/2 mark, which happens to be 45 degrees. So I'm just going to go a little outside of the 45 degrees to get my full 50. So if I did a full 360 and then did another 90 and then did another 50, I would land right here. I would land right here, and I would have gone from my initial, I would have done a full circle and then landed right here to go a total of 500 degrees. So we're being asked to draw the angle negative 50 degrees in standard position. Standard position means the vertex needs to be right here at the origin, and our initial side is right here on the x-axis, the positive side of the x-axis. Now we're supposed to go negative 50. This negative sign tells us to go backwards. So we're used to starting here and traveling this direction, counterclockwise. Backwards says we have to start going down instead. So if I went a full, I would have done too much because that's 90. I need to go 50. I know that 50 is really close to the 45 degree mark. If I only went to the 45, I didn't go far enough. I need to go 5 degrees more to actually get there. So going 5 degrees more would land me about right here, which meant I would have traveled negative 50 degrees total. So my terminal side is this line right here that would have landed me a total of negative 50 degrees. So now I'm being asked to draw the angle, 65 degrees, on this XY plane in standard position, which meant the vertex needs to be right here at the origin, and my initial side is going to be right here on the positive x-axis. Now I need to go 65 degrees. If I went a full quarter turn, I would have been at 90, which is too big. So I know that my terminal side has to live in this first quadrant. 65 is really close to 60, and I know that I can get 60 by splitting this into thirds. So this right here would have given me 60 degrees. I need to go just a little bit further to get my 65. So where is my terminal side? My terminal side is right here after I traveled my full 60 and then a little bit extra to get my 65 degrees. So I'm being asked to draw the angle, 300 degrees, in standard position, which meant the vertex is right here at the origin, and my initial side is going to be right here on the positive x-axis. Now I need to go 360 degrees. I know that if I turn straight back around, that this gives me a total of 180 degrees. So my question to myself is, how much further do I still need to go? I need to go 300 degrees total. So far, I have traveled 180 degrees. 300 minus 180 is 120 degrees. I need to go 120 degrees more. If I traveled another quarter, this would have given me an additional 90. So if I went an additional 90, how much further do I now need to go? I need to go 30 more degrees. I know that a 90-degree corner can be split into 3 sections where each section represents 30 degrees. So here is my 30-degree change. So my 180 plus my 90 plus another 30 gives me a full distance traveled of 300 degrees, which meant my terminal side landed right here. I started here at my initial. I went a full 180, another 90, and then a total of 30 more, and I landed on my 300-degree angle, which is this one right here. I'm being asked to draw an angle that is a negative 120 degrees. Negative meant that we needed to go backwards. So our initial side still starts right here at the positive x. But instead of starting here and traveling counterclockwise like we normally do, we need to go backwards. That's what the negative meant. So if I went backwards a full quarter, this would have landed me going 90 degrees backwards. So question to ask myself, so how much more do I need to go? I needed to go a total of 120 degrees backwards. So far, I've only gone 90 degrees backwards. 120 minus 90 means I need to go 30 degrees more. I know 30 degrees is easy to achieve by splitting my next 90-degree quarter into 3 sections. Each section is 30 degrees. So here is my next 30-degree backwards move. So if I started here and I went backwards 90 and then another 30, I would have landed right here on this line for a total of 120 degrees backwards. So a negative 120 degree angle.